let's get a couple of basics out of the way. For those of you new to Shakedown, let me explain who this guy with the bad Joe Pesci voice is, preaching to you about auto racing. I'm Leo Parente, and bringing you my experience as an ex-racer, and as a marketing business guy in both the racing world and the auto industry. I had my cup of coffee in pro racing via Formula Atlantic as a 30-something old guy racing part-time against the young gun sperms of the day. Now, I don't want you to think that I think I was a star racer. Was not. But I didn't wank. I was quick, won a bit, set some records, and got picked as a rising star by the racing media, who nicknamed me, of all things, Front Row Leo. I did this, and this, and this. That's me in car number 11. But I also did this. So here we are, the one time I let my ego kicked in, I owned that corner. He owned me, and here we go. Wait a minute. So that front row nickname isn't for my qualifying, it's for where I landed the car in my crash? But as an older guy, I was mature enough to listen, learn, and absorb from the real pro racers that helped me. Now, I've ripped through that list in an earlier Shakedown, but the point is, I'm not preaching what I know, but what the real expert taught me. So for 2012, we're going to travel more to get more races, but to really talk to more real racing pros and let them share their stories and insights with you. My job? To make sure it all makes sense. Also for 2012, we'll continue with the Shakedown Racing University training segments and a few other repeatable segments, including doing some stuff with our returning sponsor, Sim Raceway, connecting the dots between sim and real racing, as we discussed with Alan McNish last year. But enough preview talk. Let's get to the 2012 racing, which started with the Dakar Off-Road Rally Raid, the name for the really rough terrain racing. Stage 1 green flagged on January 1, starting the 14 stages that finished January 15th, covering 8,000 plus kilometers, 5,000 plus miles. Dakar was started by the French in 1978, racing from Paris through Africa. But in 2008, terrorism took its toll and the event moved to South America in 2009. 4 classes are run. This year, 185 bikes, 33 quads share the course with 171 cars and 76 trucks. Now, like the Nürburgring 24, Dakar is another one of those racing events that pits pros and amateurs against not just each other, but the race itself. Dakar is a total test of team, equipment, talent, and character, and I have no idea how these races do it. Head over to Dakar.com and YouTube.com/Dakar to check out the details and the action. But top line, know this. You got to be a real animal to finish this race, let alone win. And unfortunately, that was proved out with the passing of one of the bikers, Jorge Martinez Baero, who crashed and succumbed to his injuries. Our condolences to Jorge's loved ones, and Godspeed to all the racers. The Dakar cars are anything under 3,500 kilos, which is why the 2 Hummers of Robbie Gordon and teammate 2011 champion Nasser Al-Attiyah are cars, not trucks. And yes, Gordon is trying to be the first American to win overall. That he's racing a dead American brand Hummer may be setting another record too. Volkswagen, who dominated the past 3 years, has moved on to World Rally, leaving the Mini Countryman team as the favorite. Over the years, many brands have used Dakar to prove their vehicle strength and to move their motorsports programs ahead. Mitsubishi, Citroën, Renault, Peugeot, even Porsche with this 959. Remember this? But I'm sorry, I don't get how Dakar validates the Mini brand. So steer me straight, viewers, as to what I'm missing. Now, unlike the Hummers, the truck class are the real trucks. Really big stuff, 9,000 kilos, 1,000 horsepower, some with twin engines. The truck entry list reads like the cast of the movie Hunt for Red October, dominated by Crazy Ivans, Russian and Eastern European racer names. The truck brands too, with Kamaz and Tatra as the dominators. It all makes for some pretty awesome looking video. JF, road trip? Maybe in the future, but for 2012, we'll come back to Dakar here from the studio after the 15th when the race finishes. Okay, that Chris Harris look-alike joke up front was pretty lame. And I know Chris and I will eventually meet, but watching his car reviews, it has me thinking 2 things. 1, can this dude ever go through a corner any way other than sideways? And 2, what is the deal with drifting in comparison to classic road racing cornering techniques? Is drifting ever faster? How, when, and where? And why was it the way the old guys raced, but not the way Vettel and the boys do today? To start, let me say this topic is an invitation for a ton of input from you, because I am not pretending to be 100% on top of this whole drifting thing. Maybe I need to watch the Chris Harris and Matt Farah videos about learning how to drift again, just to get in the spirit of things, and you should too. That all said, here's what I think should be considered as to drifting versus not. Fact 1, cornering for speed is all about traction and tire grip limits. Number 2, tire grip happens in 4 directions: to the front for braking, to the rear for acceleration, left and right for cornering, or some combination of those 2 axes. You know, the friction circle. As such, if you're using max grip to brake, there's no grip left to corner. If you're maxed out in cornering, you can't accelerate out of the corner. Number 3, the fastest way through a corner is maximum brake, transition to cornering, trail braking. A late apex to release cornering forces to allow acceleration out of the corner, to be faster down the straight. So drifting a car into a corner in the old days was probably a function of the grip limits of the older tires, and as a way to carry speed into the corner and rotate the car. With today's tire tech, keeping the tires hooked up generates more grip through the entire brake, cornering, and acceleration process. But if when drifting you are exceeding the grip levels, are you not faster in corner entry? Maybe, but not accelerating out of the corner. And the time to rehook up mid-corner is likely also to slow you down. Then there's the whole thing about slip angle technology that designs in max grip, and tarmac grip versus low traction in snow or dirt. So fire away with your thoughts and your comments about drifting versus cornering. You know, and maybe I just need to get Harris and Farah on Shakedown to give me their version of all this. Anyway, next week we head to Detroit for the auto show, and a bunch of good interviews, I hope. Plus, I plan to practice my rental car drifting in the Michigan snow.